Good morning, everybody. How you doing? I hope you're good. Shaking and baking. It's a new day. It's a fresh day. My notes is ready. Got my cup of water. It's time to teach this class, man. This time around, I won't wait for people to come before I teach. I'm not teaching this for anybody. Anybody who is here is the person that's meant to be here. We're not going for the crowd. We're going for the remnants that are serious about their lives and their sales. So I'm your guy. I work with only serious people. Only serious people. People that take action. People that are really, really serious about what they want to accomplish in their lives. No time for nonsense. Good morning, everybody. If you can hear me, say yes. I can hear you loud and clear. If you can hear me, say yes. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, kindly say yes, I can. If you can hear me, say yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Oh, Daniel says 100%. Good. Says boom. Somebody said boom. Whoa, 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 whoa. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Okay, please tag your friends. Tag your friends. Tag your friends that the sales clinic is live. Sales clinic is live. Sales clinic is live. It's just a bit past 9 o'clock, 5 minutes past 9 a.m. in the morning. I've prepared for you, and I'm trusting the Lord that you would learn some things today that will be of benefit to you and to your sales. So thank you for coming. Let the games begin. Today, I want to talk to you about prospecting. What you should do before the prospecting call, what you should do during the prospecting call, and what you should do after the prospecting call. All right? Let me put the title here. Maybe call this The Power of Prospecting. The power of prospecting. Awesome. Pin this. Pin. Good. All right. So first of all, you know, if you've been following me, that a prospect is somebody who's interested in buying your product. Okay? A prospect is a person that is interested and has the financial capacity to buy your product or to buy your service. That is who a prospect is. So it is an activity that you must take seriously. Because your only guarantee of income in your business today and income in your business tomorrow is a function of the number of prospects that you have. Your prospecting list is your insurance for sales. You want to think about an insurance for the fact that you're going to get income to take care of yourself and your family, then it is your prospecting list, you know. So it is a list that must be taken very, very seriously. So today I'll be looking at a 3-part framework on what to do before you prospect, what to do during the prospecting, and what to do after you prospect. Please tag your friends. Come on now, come on guys. Don't be selfish. Come on guys. Tag your friends, tag your friends, tag your friends, tag your friends, tag your friends. Tell your friends to come on board, come on board, come on board, come on board, come on board. Tag them, tag them, tag them. All right, good. So that you don't be the only person that will learn this. Or tag your staff. Okay. All right. So the first thing that you must do before you make the sales call is you must build your prospecting list. You must build your prospecting list. You must have a list that you are either calling from or a list that you are DMing from. so that you are not operating from your memory, but you're operating from a specific list. Did you get that? You must have a prospecting list. All right, so you're not just picking up the phone and just calling randomly, you know. So you must either have a prospecting list, an email list, or a DM list. You have a list that you are working from and say, you know what, I want to call 50 people on this list, or I'm going to send DM to 50 people on this list. And you must have like a pyramid of the list. You start first with your referral. You start first with the people that are most likely to buy from you. You start your prospecting from the people that are most likely to buy from you. That's where you should start your prospecting from. You start with the people that are most likely to buy from you. That builds confidence. You know, if somebody referred their friend to you, you start with that list. You know, if somebody filled up a form, you start with that list. Someone sent you a DM, you start with that person. You start with your warm list, as it were. All right, so you prospect from a list and not from your memory. That's the first thing. We're looking at what you should do before the prospecting call. That's the first one. The second thing that you should do before you make your prospecting call is that you need to preempt the objections before they arise. So you want to say to yourself that what are the common objections that come up in my particular kind of business? You know, even though there are common objections like it is too expensive, send me an email, all those kind of things, yada 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 yada. I mean, in your industry and in your business, the take may be a bit different. Okay, so you need to find out what that means. You get that? So what you now do is that you preempt the objection and say, when I call people, or when I send them a DM, or when I send them an email, these are the possible objections. They say things like, it's too expensive, this is this. So what you can now do is that you preempt the objection. You can do two things. You will either practice how you will answer those objections when they rise, or you will either practice how to include those objections in the conversation that you are having with the client. So let's say you regularly hear that it is too expensive from your clients. What you should now do is that as you are talking to the client, you can now say to the client that, you know, usually most of our clients that are now using my product or my service, they usually start by saying that it is too expensive, until when they find out the value of the product and the service to them. That's why they stay with us for 6 months, 8 months, and 1 year. What you've done is that you have preempted the objection before the objection arises. So what you have said is that you have preempted the objection before the objection took off. All right, so that is how you do about preempt objection before it arises. In other words, you have seen trouble coming, so before the trouble comes, you have answered the problem of the trouble before it comes up. I don't know if you are listening to me. Say aye. Can you hear me? Please give me some hearts if you are following. If you are really enjoying, put some hearts. I want some engagement, guys. Come on, man. Are we learning? Are we learning? Okay, fantastic. So how many points have I mentioned now? I said these are the things you should do before you make your sales calls, before you start sending those multiple DMs. These are the things that you should do. You should build up a prospective list. You should work from a list. Work from a list and not from your memory. So let's say you want to call 50 people in 30 minutes. Or 30 people in 25 minutes or 1 hour. You have that list, you tick. That is how you should operate. You should operate from a list and not from your memory. Very, very important. Even if you are sending bulk WhatsApp, even if you are sending bulk whatever, work from a list. All right? And you can put that in Excel sheets. You can put that in a notebook or whatever works for you, right? That's one. Then number two is that preempt the objections before they arise. You know, what are the common objections in your business? It's too expensive. If it's real estate, they will say it's too far. If it's real estate, they will say there's too much water in the place. I don't know you. Send me an email. All those are objections that clients raise. Or what you can now do is that, knowing that these are the objections that these people talk about before they buy my product or my service, you write those objections down and you now practice the objection before you make the call and say, if they tell me that it's too expensive, this is how I will answer them. If they tell me that the place is too far, this is how I will answer them. Or in my conversation with them, I can impute the objection inside it and plant it in their head, you know, before they even bring it up. So that's two things that you should do before that. The third thing that you should do before you make your sales call, you must establish the objective of the sales call before you pick up your phone to call. What do you want from this sales call? Do you want to book an appointment? Do you want, because if for high ticket items, right, like real estate or even buying a car, something like that, you cannot sell that. You may not sell that on the phone. So maybe the purpose of the objection is to book an appointment whereby you will go and see the client, or you do some form of demonstration with the client. All right, so usually it takes like 2 or 3 or 4 meetings before they close those kind of sales. So it is important that you do that. So these are the 4 things. These are, how many things have I mentioned that you should look at? You know, Pat, how you doing? That you should look at before you make your sales calls. Number 1, you build your prospecting list. So you don't call from your memory, you call from a list. Build it from a list. All right, you can use an Excel sheet. Number 2 is that preempt the objections before they arise. So you sit yourself down and say, what are the common objections in my business? It's too expensive. I don't know you. Let me think about it and all that. So you write those objections down and you answer those objections with your staff, with your brother, with your cousin, with your boyfriend, with your ex. You practice the objections before you pick up the phone to call or start to send the DMs, because those objections will come. Or you can impute the objection in your presentation before they raise it up. So for example, what I mean by that is that if they say it's too expensive, you can even start the presentation by saying that most times, most of our current customers, before they started using us, they used to say that our product was expensive until they started using us and they now saw the value of what you have just done is that you have answered the objection before they raised it up. Did you get that? All right, so this is a good time to put in a plug. All right, so on the 30th of August, I'm doing a webinar. It's called How to Increase Your Sales by Over 50% in 90 Days or Less. What you will learn from that webinar is how to handle sales objections like this, how to develop your own sales script, how to develop a marketing script, how to develop your marketing process. My 4-part sales process that never fails, can never fail, and it will never fail. That's what you will get. All right, now usually after a webinar, the teacher goes their way and you, the student, you go your way, but this one is different. When you pay 11,000 Naira for this webinar, you will have access to my sales video, exclusive sales video, for 1 full year. Exclusive, never seen before sales videos for 1 full year. Every day in your inbox, you will get a new sales video every day. I have recorded 365 sales videos that I will be sending out to you. Why? I have partnered with a company in Sweden. I am now a mentor in a company in Sweden called Prime Nuggets. So Prime Nuggets is hosting my video. So they are the ones that will be sending you the video every single day for 1 year. Plus, you will get a replay. You will get a replay of the webinar, and then you get a free copy of my book, 15 Simple Ways to Speak Well in Public. Whoa! So the value for the webinar is very, very high. All right? And it's just 11,000 Naira for all of that value. And I'm going to raise that price in 24 hours. So who wants to register for that webinar right now? Say I, and join the other people that have registered for the webinar. Say I. So to register for the webinar, click on the link on my Instagram bio right now. to register. Who wants to register for the webinar right now? Say aye. Come on, guys. Who wants to register for the webinar? Say aye. You know, I remember coaching a client of mine just now. She called me and said, Paul, the way I'm selling right now is crazy because using the script that I showed her to use. I told her to make those sales calls. All right. So who wants to register for the webinar right now? Say aye. Come on, guys. Who's coming for the webinar? Say aye. Give it up for Zenoman. So Zenoman, what you should do? Whoa, Super T is coming. Woo! So Zenoman and Super T, here's what I want you guys to do for me. Leave this live video now. Go to the link on my Instagram bio and pay. Just leave this live video right now. Go to the link on my Instagram bio and pay and come back and tell all of us done. Yes, just do that now. I'm here till maybe 10 o'clock. Yeah? So do that right now. Do that for me. Will you do that for me? Zinoma, will you do that for me? Super T, will you do that for me? So leave this live video now. Go to my Instagram bio, click on the link, and boom, in 3 minutes time you are finished registering, and then come back. I want to celebrate it. Plus, if you do that right now, I have a special gift to give to you in the DM. Once you do that, send me a DM and say, done, coach, maybe a screenshot. There's a gift I'm going to give to you, and that gift is how to make money from Instagram every single day and how to add 10,000 extra followers. I make money from Instagram every day. Trust me, I do. So click on that link right now and do that. So let me write your name, because if you don't do it, I'll follow you up. Super T, super_T. I'll follow you up. I'm a follow-up machine. And then Zenoma. I don't have any hang up in selling. I'll call you. So you better do that now. Follow you up. All right, so let's go back to what we're teaching. So I was talking about what you should do before you make your sales calls, what you should do during making your sales calls, and what you should do after you've made your sales calls. All right, so let's look at so what have you learned so far? Anybody? Let me know if we're all on the same page. What have you learned so far? What have you learned so far? Come on, guys, talk to me. What have you learned so far? All right, fantastic. So next, what you should not do in the sales call is, before you make a sales call, is that you must have a clear call, a clear objective, a clear reason why you are making the sales call. You must have a clear reason why you are making the sales call. What is the objective of the call? Is it to book an appointment? Is it to close a sale? Is it to get a referrals number? Is it to follow up? Now it depends on the size of your deal. If it's a small product where it's not an high ticket item, usually you can close that on the phone. They will pay immediately. But if it's things like real estate, or maybe the person wants to buy a car, it is usually over 2 or 3 meetings, for that, stuff to happen. So maybe for that situation, the purpose why you're making the call is to either book an appointment. Maybe you want to book a sales appointment, or you want to follow up on a client. So know the reason now, because when you know the reason why you are making the sales call, it guides you. The reason why you're making the sales call guides your conversation. It guides the conversation, because you know that this is the objective of the call. You are not there to gist with the client. The client is not your gisting partner. The client is not your depression relieving partner. So stop going to tell the client about all your problems. No, you are there to close a deal, to follow up, to do something specific. Very, very important. You must understand that purpose. You must understand that reason. Why is this call going to happen? Because it is the reason for the call that will guide you in the conversation. Because a sales call is like a journey, really. You are the driver of the call. You know the destination of the call. The customer is the passenger. You are the one that know where you want to take this conversation to. Is it to close a deal? Is it to book an appointment to see the client at a later date? All right, so you want to do that very, very importantly. All right, so let's go into the second section of this class, which is what you should do during the call. What should you do during the call? Here's what you should do during the call. Number one is get off the internet. Get off the internet when you're making your sales call. You don't want any notifications. You don't want any all those things. All those things are urgent, but they are not important. The only thing that is important in that time, that framework, that block of time that you're making that call, is making the calls. You cannot be making a sales call and checking your Facebook status. You are not that important. You cannot be making sales calls and checking your Instagram status. For what? How can you multitask and make calls successful? It's not going to happen. Just pick one activity. So get off the internet, make those calls. Number two, block out time to make the call. That's the second thing you should do during the making of the call. You can say, you cannot make a call all day. No, because work will fill the time allotted to it. If you say I'm going to make sales calls all day, you will make calls all day. No, block out. I say I'm going to make call for only 30 minutes. I'll make call from 9 a.m. to 9:30. That's it. And you lock your attention on it. You concentrate your power in it. You make those calls. You know, that's a discipline that many entrepreneurs and influencers and solopreneurs and hustlers lack. It's discipline to lock your attention and make the calls. Now, they don't do that, and then they will say that they are not making sales. No, sales is not for lazy people. Sales is not for indisciplined people. Sales is for only people who are disciplined, because it takes some level of concentration and focus to close the deal. So when you're making the calls, number one, remove yourself from the internet. Turn off your data. Because you remember what I said in section 1, you have a list to call from. So turn off your data when you are making those sales calls. So you are calling those clients, saying, it's been long since I've seen you. You cannot be making those sales calls and having notifications at the same time. It is not going to work that way. You pick an activity and do it and stick to it. That is one. Two, make your proposal handy. In other words, you know your business more than I do, you know. So if you know that usually when you make the calls, the customer will say to you, send me this, send me that. That's not the time for you to go and prepare those documents. You should have prepared the document before you made the sales call. So that when the customer says, send me an email in description of your offer, that's not when you go and write the email. You would have written the email, you would have written the proposal. You just click send. When the customer says, after you talk to the customer for 5 minutes, the customer says, send me an email, you need to ask the customer, sir or ma, what specifically would you want me to put in that email? Because I've been speaking to you now for 5 minutes. You've covered some things. You cannot be sending the customer everything. You should delete some things and add some things. All right? I'm going to teach you how to do that. All of these things in my webinar that's taking place on the 30th of August. I have a webinar coming up on the 30th of August 2020. The title of the webinar is How to Increase Your Sales by Over 50% in 90 days or less. In that webinar, I'll show you how to develop your own sales scripts. I'll teach you the discipline of making sales calls and DMing. I'll show you how to develop your own sales process. I'll show you how to develop your own marketing process and how to marry your marketing and your sales together. I will show you my 4-part sales process that never fails, can never fail. It will never fail. If you do that, you make money every single day online. All right? So I'll show you how to handle sales objects and so much more. And all of these things is for just 11,000 naira. But here's what you get. For registering for the webinar for 11,000 naira, you will have access for 1 year free of charge to my exclusive never seen before sales videos for 1 year. So every day for 1 year, 365 days till next year August, you'll be having my sales videos in your inbox every single day. Now these are content that I don't share anywhere. Why? I have just partnered with a company in Sweden. I am now a mentor at a world-class company in Sweden called Prime Nuggets. you'll be getting those videos from Prime Nuggets every single day. Plus, you'll get a replay of the webinar and a free copy of my book, 15 Simple Ways to Sell Anything to Anybody. Who will want to get those kind of content? Who want to register for the webinar right now? Say I. Who wants to register for the webinar? Say I. I am, or easy. I sent you a DM because you indicated interest to come for the webinar the other time and you didn't respond to me. How are you, sir? Oma. I sent you a DM, but you didn't respond to me. You said that you wanted to come for the webinar. Who wants to register for the webinar right now? Say I. Who wants to register for the webinar right now? Say I. The webinar is switching. I'm raising the price in 24 hours. Who wants to register for that webinar right now? Say I. So if you want to register for the webinar, click on the link on my Instagram bio right now to register. Who wants to register for the webinar right now? Say I. Come on, guys. Invest in yourself. Join other entrepreneurs like you. Join other ambitious entrepreneurs like you at the webinar. Who wants to register for the webinar right now? Say I. All right, so click on the link on my Instagram bio and register and send me a DM. Then I have a special gift for you. If you register right now, I will send you a recording that I did for 2 hours on how step by step on how to make money from Instagram. So do that right now and get that webinar. All right, who wants to register for the webinar right now? Say I. Good. John Ade says want to register for the webinar. So click on the link on my Instagram bio and register and come back to this place and say I have done it. I have done it. Just say done. John Ade. I'm gonna call you if you don't do it. I'm gonna call you John Ade. So register right now. John underscore Ade 94. All right. So click on the link on my Instagram bio right now and register for the webinar, Mr. John, and you will not regret it. And then rush and come back here and said and write done. Migs Wardrobe, thank you for coming. All right, so we'll continue. What have you learned so far? Let me know if you are listening and following. What have you learned so far, everybody? What have you learned so far? Let me know if you have learned something so far before I continue. And where am I right now? I am in what you should do during making the sales calls. What have you learned so far? What have you learned so far, everybody? What have you learned so far in this live video? All right. The last part of the process is after you've made your sales calls or sent your DMs or your email and your email marketing, the next thing you should now do is number one, make a note. In other words, after the call, what did they tell you? Did they say you should call back? Make a mental note and a physical note. All right. Next, establish next steps. Are you going to call the person tomorrow, the next day? Are you going to send them something by mail? Next, book it in your calendar of who you're going to call and remove those who you know that they are not qualified, they're not interested. Remove those from your list. Next, reward yourself for making the call. Reward yourself that you made sales calls for 30 minutes or 32 minutes. Reward yourself, give yourself a reward. Buy yourself ice cream, buy yourself a cup of coffee, buy yourself a cup of tea. Reward yourself for making the call. And lastly, be grateful and be grateful to your God. Now, God, thank you. I made 30 sales calls and I made 1 sales. I made 30 sales calls and I made 2 sales. So that is how you should go about doing that. So that's the end of the class. What did you learn? I like to keep it short. What did you learn? Yeah, what did you learn? Prestige fashion. Well done. What did you learn? So tell me, what did you learn today? All right. So let me use the opportunity to also tell you guys, those of you who just joined, I'm doing a webinar on the 30th of August 2020 called How to Increase Your Sales by Over 50% in 90 Days or Less. In that webinar, I'll show you how to develop your own sales script, how to develop your own marketing and sales process, because marketing and sales are not the same things. I'll show you how to marry both of them. I'll show you how to handle sales objections. I'll show you how to make money on Instagram. All right, so and so much more. I'll show you how to follow up, and so much more. And for that webinar, usually after a webinar, the teacher that teaches the webinar will go their way and then you go your way. But mine is different. After this webinar, when you pay 11,000 naira to attend this webinar, you will get 1 year access to my free sales video. If you pay for the webinar, which is 11,000 naira, for 1 year, 365 days, you'll be getting my sales video into your inbox free of charge, because I've just partnered with a company in Sweden called Prime Nuggets. And Prime Nuggets actually rewards people that follow me on Prime Nuggets. All right, you will be rewarded for following me on Prime Nuggets. You may even be flown out of the country. All right, and you get that video every single day, and I will also send you a replay of the webinar, and you will get a free copy of my book, 15 Simple Ways to Speak Well in Public. I mean, the offer is too good to be true. So click on the link on my Instagram bio right now and register for that webinar. Send me a DM. If you send me a DM right now, I will send you a gift, and that gift is how to make money from Instagram, a guide, step-by-step guide on how to make money from Instagram and get extra 10,000 followers. Who wants to register for the webinar right now? Say aye. Who wants to register for the webinar right now? Say aye. Who wants to register for the webinar? I'll close this class in 6 minutes time or 5 minutes time, because I want it to be 9:40. Who wants to register for the webinar right now? Say aye. Good. Malvin Ikuku. The cost is 11,000 naira to Jack. Are you coming? Put your name down. It's 11,000 naira. It's cheap, really cheap. I'm telling you. 11,000 to get my content every day for 1 year is cheap, man. Come on, man. It's cheap. And after 1 year, if you like it, you can renew your subscription. Yeah. It's cheap, man. To Jack, to Tech. I'll call you. If you say you're interested, I'm a follow-up king. I'll follow up on you. All right. Malvi Ikoku. Okay, Malvi Ikoku. Malvi Ikoku says he's interested. Fantastic. Just go to my Instagram bio right now and click on the link and register. Okay. All right. Did you guys enjoy the class? It's 40 minutes of power. BizLift, welcome. 40 minutes of power. So I looked at 3 things. I looked at what to do before you make your sales calls, what to do during making the sales calls, what to do after the meeting. Now, this is a guy that does it. I make over 50 sales calls to 40 sales calls every 30 minutes. Because after this live, I'm going to pick up my phone and start making sales calls to my clients. That's how I'll be able to grow my business, man. That's the way. That's how I become successful in what I'm doing. All right, I've got retainerships with companies, so I'm doing well in my business because of this principle. It works. So pick up the phone and call. Some people teach it, they don't live it. I live it. It's the way I live, man. All right, so I'm managing big sales teams as we speak. Right, so I've got my hands on the pulse of sales. So you have the best sales teacher teaching you. So click on the link on the Instagram bio right now and register for the webinar. Because when you register for that webinar, you get 1 year free access to my sales videos powered by a Sweden company called Prime Nuggets. I am now a mentor at Prime Nuggets. Prime Nuggets is a global company. It's a global company that uses only the best thought leaders in the world. So they picked me as one of their mentors, all right? And they pick people at random as well to go to Sweden, because I'm going to go to Sweden next year to do a mastermind with people who have subscribed to my Prime Nuggets, all right? So click on the link on my Instagram bio and register for that. Just 11,000, and then you get access to my videos every day for 1 year. I'm going to raise the price of that webinar, maybe in 24 hours, because the value is just too good. All right, so thank you very much. I'm done with the class. Who wants to register for the webinar today? Who is promising me that they'll register for the webinar today and keep their word? Who is promising and keeping their word today? All right, thank you very much, guys. Do have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys later. Yeah, bye. So what did you learn, any other person? What have you learned today? What did you learn? What did you learn? Let me just get that out of the way quickly. Come on, guys. What have you learned today? What have you learned today? Okay, thank you.